Brought to you by wikivd.com. Maya, mother of the Buddha. Queen Maya of Sakya was the birth mother of Gautama Buddha, the sage on whose teachings Buddhism was founded. She was sister of Mahapajapati Gautami, the first Buddhist nun ordained by the Buddha. In Buddhist tradition, Maya died soon after the birth of Buddha, generally said to be 7 days afterwards, and came to life again in a Hindu-Buddhist heaven, a pattern that is said to be followed in the births of all Buddhas. Thus Maya did not raise her son, who was instead raised by his maternal aunt Mahapajapati Gautami. Maya would, however, on occasion descend from heaven to give advice to her son. Maya means illusion in Sanskrit. Maya is also called Mahamaya and Mayadevi. In Tibetan she is called Gayu Trulma, and in Japanese is known as Maya Bunnan. Also Sinhalese known as iconography. In Buddhist literature and art, Queen Maya is portrayed as a beautiful fecund woman in the prime of life. Her beauty sparkles like a nugget of pure gold. She has perfumed curls like the large black bee, eyes like lotus petals, teeth like stars in the heavens, from the Lalita Vistara Sutra, although sometimes shown in other scenes from her life, such as having a dream foretelling her pregnancy with Gautama Buddha, or with her husband King Suddhodana seeking prophecies about their son's life shortly after his birth. She is most often depicted whilst giving birth to Gautama, an event that is generally accepted to have taken place in Lumbini in modern-day Madhya. Maya is usually shown giving birth standing under a tree and reaching overhead to hold on to a branch for support. Buddhist scholar Miranda Shaw states that Queen Maya's depiction in the nativity scene follows a pattern established in earlier Buddhist depictions of the tree spirits known as Yaksini. Life of Maya. Maya married King Uddodana, the ruler of the Akya clan of Kapilvastu. She was the daughter of King Uddodana's uncle and therefore his cousin. Her father was king of Devadaha. Maya and King Suddhodana did not have children for 20 years into their marriage. According to legend, one full moon night, sleeping in the palace, the queen had a vivid dream. She felt herself being carried away by 4 devas to Lake Anudhata in the Himalayas. After bathing her in the lake, the devas clothed her in heavenly cloths, anointed her with perfumes and bedecked her with divine flowers. Soon after, a white elephant holding a white lotus flower in its trunk appeared and went round her 3 times, entering her womb through her right side. Finally, the elephant disappeared and the queen awoke, knowing she had been delivered an important message, as the elephant is a symbol of greatness. According to Buddhist tradition, the Buddha to be was residing as a bodhisattva in the heaven, and decided to take the shape of a white elephant to be reborn on earth for the last time. Maya gave birth to Siddhartha c. 563 BCE. The pregnancy lasted 10 lunar months. Following custom, the queen returned to her own home for the birth. On the way, she stepped down from her palanquin to have a walk under the sal tree, often confused with the Ashoka tree, in the beautiful flower garden of Lumbini Park, Lumbini Zone, Nepal. Maya Devi was delighted by the park and gave birth standing while holding on to a sal branch. Legend has it that Prince Siddhartha emerged from her right side. It was the 8th day of April. Some accounts say she gave him in his first bath in the Puskarini pond in Lumbini Zone. But legend has it that devas caused it to rain to wash the newborn baby. He was later named Siddhartha, he who has accomplished his goals, or the accomplished goal. Scholars generally agree that most Buddhist literature holds that Maya died 7 days after the birth of Buddha and was then reborn in the Tavatimsa heaven, where the Buddha later preached the Abhidharma to her. Her sister Prajapati became the child's foster mother. After Siddhartha had attained enlightenment and become the Buddha, he visited his mother in heaven. for 3 months to pay respects and to teach the Dharma. Cross-cultural analogies. Referring to the prophetic dream Queen Maya had prior to conception, the life story of the Buddha according to the Pali Canon say that his mother did not engage in sexual activity or entertain any thoughts of other men during her pregnancy. It does not say that Siddhartha was conceived without sexual activity between his parents. However, some parallels have been drawn with the birth story of Jesus. Z.P. Thundi has surveyed the similarities and differences between the birth stories of Buddha by Maya and Jesus by Mary, and notes that while there may have been similarities, there are also differences, and more, that Mary outlives Jesus after raising him, but Maya dies soon after the birth of Buddha, as all mothers of Buddhas do in the Buddhist tradition. Thundi does not assert that there is any historical evidence that the Christian birth stories of Jesus were derived from the Buddhist traditions, but suggests that maybe it is time that Christian scholars looked in the Buddhist tradition for the sources of the idea. Other scholars have, however, rejected any influence, and more Paula Fredrickson states that no serious scholarly work places Jesus outside the backdrop of first-century Palestinian Judaism. Eddy and Boyd state that there is no evidence of a historical influence by outside sources on the authors of the New Testament, and most scholars agree that any such historical influence on Christianity is entirely implausible, given that first-century monotheistic Galilean Jews would not have been open to what they would have seen as pagan stories. Brought to you by wikivd.com. Would you like to know more?